Go to TAPgiles.com to learn dreams, engage my services, and support the channel. So I've got this simple animation, and when I play time, kind of goes round and round like that, and it uses quite a lot of keyframes. So it uses quite a lot of thermo. So a keyframe, when it stores something, it's like a bundle of invisible wires and values going to the settings that you're affecting. So this keyframe affects the transform of this, which is the position and the rotation and the scale. But that is stored for every single one of these keyframes, because all those keyframes are storing those things. If we have a look at the thermometer, it's not like a huge amount or anything, but you can see it uses wires and animation. So it has these invisible wires, but it also uses things. So things is like every object has a little bit of things data, such as like where that keyframe is, and it's like inside a timeline, and settings in the tweak menu and things like that. So ideally we'd want to reduce the number of keyframes so that it doesn't use so many, and that will let us have more animation, so we can have a longer animation, do more things with it if we do a bit of optimization. So let's just get a timeline and stick it in here. So you can have nested timelines, and if we look at this now, as it plays, like this is the point in the timeline, so it's near the end. The playhead is near the end of that timeline, so the playhead is near the end of this timeline, and so on. And when it gets past it, then it's not powering that timeline. You can also like shorten it and lengthen it. If you do that here, then it will use the trim handles instead, unless you're making it longer. But if you're making it shorter, it just blanks out some of this stuff and just like ignores it when it wants to play it. So let's just make it shorter in here, and then if you make it loop, now it will loop the whatever's in here some number of times. So you can drag that out and give it more numbers of times, and we can put anything we want in here, like gadgets or like lights or animations or music. So if we grab, this is just like a loop of 4 keyframes that makes it go in a circle like that. So we'll grab 4 of them and copy them into this timeline and drag that like that. We need the first one again, and that will make it kind of loop back to the beginning. So if we now delete all of these, and I'll leave that one there and that one there. There we go. So now you can see it's still like looping just fine, and if we extend that to that point over there, it will keep going, and we just need to kind of line these up so that is the same position as that. So I'll just, if I use L1 and right on the D-pad, I can zoom in. Okay, so they're exactly the same point. I'll copy that last one out of here and put it into the timeline as well, and move that so they're kind of on top of each other, and then we can bring that back. So now when it gets to here, it will have 2 keyframes putting it at the same position, so it will be just synced up properly, and the same is happening at the start. So now let's play it. Okay, so that's playing fine. At the end, and then it goes back. So because of this looping timeline, it uses 1/10 of the things and wires also. Another thing you might want to happen is you have like an overall animation in a timeline. So you can easily like loop this along some section. But then if you want to kind of have another copy of this, like you want to loop, go in a circle around there, and then go in a circle around there, but like pause in between or something, then that means you have these keyframes and these keyframes. But another way of doing this is to separate this out so that you don't have to duplicate those keyframes. So if you just put this in a chip to keep it tidy, that. And then I'll copy this out, and then we don't need those in there. And we just turn that off. Then we have a keyframe in here for a period of time that we want that to loop, and we just turn it on. And now this is one keyframe with one invisible wire powering this one timeline over here, and then we have another one over here. So let's look down here. So it goes in a circle, and then it pauses, and then it will go in a circle again. But yeah, so once it gets to the end of there, it will pause at that point, because that's just how looping works, and then it will continue again. So ideally, I'm going to make this slightly differently, because you probably want it to rewind to the start when it starts again. So I'm going to have a switch that will power it on and rewind it. So these keyframes will just turn on that switch instead of the timeline itself. So it started from the beginning, and it loops, and it will wait there, but then when it turns on again, it will rewind and start from the beginning. So that's a way of saving on thermo and optimizing for that. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to learn something new every day.